Hi, I'm John Weeks, and here is your Cop26 roundup from the Evening Standard. More than 100 nations, including Russia and Brazil, have now committed to ending and reversing deforestation by 2030. A further commitment made by world leaders today was to reduce methane emissions by 30% by 2030. Our deputy political editor David Bond has been at Cop26 today following the action.
So two major breakthroughs at the Cop26 climate summit in Glasgow today. The first one on deforestation, 100 countries covering 85% of the world's forests saying that they will move to net tree loss by 2030.
Let's end this great global chainsaw massacre.
The other one on methane emissions, with the EU and the US pushing other countries very, very hard on this. They now think that they've got 90 countries on board who have committed to cut methane emissions by 30%. The US themselves are looking to go much further than that and cut by 75%, which is seen as a real landmark moment in the US battle against climate change, and may actually be bigger than anything else that is achieved during the COP26 summit.
Preserving forests and other ecosystems can and should play an important role in meeting our ambitious climate goals as part of the net zero emissions strategy we all have.
But balanced against those two breakthroughs, two big disappointments. First from India, who on Monday said that they would set a net zero target by 2070, which is much later that climate activists and other countries, including the UK, might have hoped for.
2070 तक भारत नेट जीरो का लक्ष्य हासिल करेगा.
And then China, who have failed to give any further commitments or a commitment to speed up their move to net zero. They are still saying that they will get there by 2060. And then, of course, we've had the big controversy over the way that some of the world leaders have travelled to Glasgow, with some using private jets. The controversy over Joe Biden using his vast motorcade, including the Beast, to get from his base in Edinburgh over to the summit in Glasgow. Boris Johnson himself is using a private jet to get back from the conference on Tuesday evening. Of course, none of that will matter. That will all be forgotten if there is a big deal agreed over the next 10 days. But as world leaders go home and they leave it to their negotiators and officials on the ground in Glasgow to try and thrash out that deal, there is a concern that this conference might just run out of steam.
David Bond there. You can read more from him and our political team at standard.co.uk. Now, Amazon boss Jeff Bezos announced a $2 billion investment to go directly towards restoring nature in Africa.
In too many parts of the world, nature is already flipping from a carbon sink to a carbon source. This is a profound and urgent danger to us all. That's why last month in New York, 9 philanthropic organizations announced an additional $5 billion to support the goal of 30 by 30, to protect 30% of all land and sea by 2030. I was honored to be a part of this with a $1 billion pledge from the Bezos Earth Fund. And today, I'm pleased to announce a $2 billion pledge allocated directly to restoring nature and transforming food systems.
Prince Charles was also among the speakers today. He's called for incentives to be created for countries which protect their woodlands.
If we are to restore the critical balance between people and planet, we need to protect, restore and invest in nature. Investment in natural capital, including fostering more species-rich systems rather than sterile monocultures, can support productive and resilient agriculture, forestry and aquaculture, while avoiding the pitfalls of climate change, land degradation, resource depletion, pollution and insect decline.
And protesters have been making their voices heard outside the COP26 conference today, with a group dressed as some of the world leaders taking part in a mock version of the popular TV show Squid Game. Members of campaign group Green New Deal played tug-of-war and climate hopscotch during a protest at the Clyde Arc Bridge. Co-founder of the group, Fatima Ibrahim, explained what their demonstration was all about.
So we've put together an action today that is riffing off the famous Squid Games TV show, and we're telling to tell leaders to stop playing climate games with our future. They made a brilliant speeches yesterday with a lot of rhetoric and a lot of promises, but that doesn't change the trajectory of emissions, and what we need is for them to go home and deliver on those promises, to deliver action.
Tomorrow, the focus will be on how to finance projects to tackle climate change. We'll hear from Rishi Sunak, and there'll be discussions on support for developing nations. For the latest updates, visit the website standard.co.uk, where we'll be covering the latest from the climate conference in Glasgow. That's it from the Evening Standard Cop26 update. Join us again tomorrow.